Welcome, fellow history enthusiasts, to another fascinating episode on Wise Warfare. Today, we're diving into the world of military history, exploring some of the most significant blunders and the invaluable lessons they've taught us. From the infamous charge of the Light Brigade to the ill-fated Bay of Pigs invasion, we'll unravel the stories behind these monumental mistakes and discover how they've shaped the course of history. So buckle up and get ready for a thrilling journey into the annals of warfare, where we'll learn that even the most powerful armies can fall victim to human error and poor decision making. Number 1. Battle of Little Bighorn, 1876. On June 25th, 1876, General George Armstrong Custer, a man known for his bravado and ambitious nature, led his 7th Cavalry, consisting of around 700 soldiers, into the heart of Montana Territory, seeking to subdue a coalition of Native American tribes. Unbeknownst to Custer, he was about to face a force of a formidable 2,500 warriors, including the legendary leaders Sitting Bull and Crazy Horse, who had united their tribes in a desperate bid for survival. Ignoring the advice from his scouts and dismissing the warnings of his subordinates, Custer divided his force and launched a bold yet reckless attack on the tribal encampment. As the dust of the battle rose in the air, Custer's command found itself surrounded by an overwhelming number of Native American warriors. Within a matter of hours, Custer and his entire force were wiped out in a brutal, chaotic fight that would later become known as Custer's Last Stand. Lessons learned. Accurate intelligence and a realistic assessment of the enemy's capabilities are crucial for strategic decision-making. Overconfidence can lead to disastrous consequences and the unnecessary loss of life. The Battle of Little Bighorn is a sobering reminder that even the boldest of commanders must not underestimate their opponents, lest they suffer a similar fate. Charge of the Light Brigade, 1854. On October 25th, 1854, during the Battle of Balaclava in the Crimean War, a fateful miscommunication led to the British Light Brigade, consisting of 670 cavalrymen, to charge headlong into the valley lined with heavily fortified Russian artillery positions. Lord Raglan, the British commander, had intended for the Light Brigade to pursue a retreating Russian force. However, due to the unclear wording of his orders and the obscured view of the battlefield, the Light Brigade's commander, Lord Cadogan, misunderstood the directives and led his men into the deadly assault. The courageous but doomed charge lasted approximately 20 minutes as the British horsemen faced a hailstorm of cannon fire and musket shots from all sides. In the words of French General Pierre Bosquet, who witnessed the event, "It is magnificent, but it is not war, it is madness." By the end of the charge, 278 of the Light Brigade's cavalrymen had been killed, wounded, or taken prisoner. This tragic event would later be immortalised by the famous poem by Lord Tennyson, The Charge of the Light Brigade, with the stirring lines, "Into the valley of death rode the 600. The Light Brigade's misguided bravery serves as a powerful reminder of the human cost of miscommunication in warfare. Lessons learned. Clear communication and understanding of orders are essential in military operations. Miscommunication can lead to devastating casualties and strategic blunders that reverberate throughout history. The Charge of the Light Brigade is a poignant example of the importance of clear directives and the need for commanders to ensure that their subordinates fully comprehend the intended objectives. Number 3. Battle of Gallipoli, 1915 to 1916. The Battle of Gallipoli, also known as the Dardanelles Campaign, was an ambitious Allied effort during World War I to capture the Ottoman Empire's capital, Constantinople, now Istanbul. Conceived by Winston Churchill, then First Lord of the Admiralty, the plan aimed to open a sea route to Russia and knock the Ottoman Empire out of the war. However, the Allies soon found themselves confronted by a nightmarish combination of poor planning, logistical issues, and fierce Ottoman resistance, led by Mustafa Kemal Ataturk, who would later become the founder of modern Turkey. From the moment the Allied troops landed the Gallipoli Peninsula in April 1915, they faced daunting challenges, hindered by rugged terrain, inadequate intelligence, and insufficient supplies. The Allies struggled to establish a secure foothold. In the words of a British officer, the campaign was a series of disastrous underestimations. The Ottomans, determined to defend their homeland, put up a tenacious fight that bogged the Allies down in a bloody, protracted stalemate. The grueling 8-month campaign, characterised by brutal trench warfare and devastating losses on both sides, ultimately resulted in over 300,000 casualties, including 130,000 deaths. In January 1916, the Allies finally admitted defeat and withdrew their forces, having achieved no significant gains. Lessons learned. Thorough planning and preparation are crucial for successful military operations. Underestimating the enemy and failing to adapt to changing circumstances can lead to a quagmire of suffering and loss. The Battle of Gallipoli stands as a stark reminder of the perils of overambitious strategies, the importance of accurate intelligence, and the need to remain flexible in face of adversity. Number 4. Operation Barbarossa, 1941. In the summer of 1941, Nazi Germany embarked on an audacious and brutal military campaign, Operation Barbarossa, targeting the Soviet Union. With over 3 million Axis soldiers, the invasion remains the largest in history. Initially, the Germans made significant gains, capturing vast swaths of territory and inflicting devastating losses on the Red Army. However, as they pushed deeper into the immense Soviet landscape, they encountered numerous obstacles that would ultimately seal their fate. The invaders not only faced the indomitable spirit of the Soviet Union, determined to defend their homeland at all costs, but also the unforgiving Russian terrain and the brutal winter. German troops, ill-equipped for the harsh conditions, saw their advance grind to a halt as temperatures plunged and supply lanes became increasingly overstretched. General Heinz Guderian, a leading German strategist, warned of the perils of the campaign, stating, "The war in the East has assumed a character that will threaten us with catastrophe." By the end of Operation Barbarossa, the Germans had suffered over 750,000 casualties, with many more succumbing to frostbite, illness and exhaustion. The once seemingly invincible Wehrmacht had now been dealt a crippling blow, and the tide of the war began to turn against them. Lessons learned. A comprehensive understanding of the terrain and environmental factors is essential when planning military campaigns. Never underestimate the will of the enemy to defend their homeland, no matter the cost. Operation Barbarossa serves as a harrowing reminder of the dangers of hubris and the importance of logistical planning, the resilience of people fighting for their very survival. Number 5. Bay of Pigs Invasion, 1961. The Bay of Pigs invasion was a covert operation by the United States to overthrow Fidel Castro's communist regime in Cuba. Orchestrated by the CIA during President JFK's administration, the operation involved around 1,400 Cuban exiles, known as Brigade 2506, who were trained and supported by the US government. The plan called for Brigade 2506 to land on the southern coast of Cuba, establish a beachhead, and spark a counter-revolutionary uprising against Castro's regime. However, from the outset, the operation was plagued by poor planning, a lack of air support, and inadequate intelligence. A key component of the plan, the destruction of Castro's air force, was only partially achieved, leaving the invading force vulnerable to counterattacks. As the invasion unfolded, the Cuban exiles found themselves stranded in the beaches, surrounded by the emboldened Cuban military and outgunned by the superior firepower of Castro's forces. President Kennedy, fearing that US involvement would become too conspicuous, withheld critical air support. The decision effectively sealed the fate of the operation. The mission ended in the humiliating defeat, with 114 invaders killed and over 1,100 captured. The failed invasion not only strengthened Castro's grip of power, but also fueled anti-American sentiment in the region and damaged US credibility on the world stage. Lessons learned. Covert operations require meticulous planning, accurate intelligence, and reliable support to be successful. A failure in any of these aspects can result in a disastrous outcome, with consequences felt for generations. The Bay of Pigs invasion serves as a cautious tale to the perils of ill-conceived covert operations and the ripple effects of having such failures in the geopolitical arena. As we've seen throughout this captivating journey, the annals of military history are littered with examples of blunders that have changed the course and events and shaped the world we live in today. From the shores of Gallipoli to the frozen expanses of the Soviet Union, these cautionary tales remind us of the importance of thorough planning, accurate intelligence, and clear communication in the complex and unforgiving realm of warfare. We hope you've enjoyed this eye-opening exploration of military missteps and the invaluable lessons they've imparted. By studying these historical events, we can better understand the intricate dynamics of conflict and learn from the past to prevent similar mistakes in the future. So until our next adventure into the fascinating world of history, stay curious and keep exploring. Like, comment, and subscribe.